This week on Face Off Hockey Show, boy howdy, we've got nothing. It's going to be a struggle bus, kids, but we'll get through it. We'll talk about some coaching changes in the international level. What ifs? Are the Caps actually on the downside? One player doesn't think so. And I'm in a hotel room in Alberta. They let me back into Canada. All that and then some. It's Face Off Hockey Show, and it's next.
The following program is closed captioned for the thinking impaired.
Choose your command. You have chosen
the Face Off Hockey Show.
I mean, hockey is my life. I've got on hockey underwear right now.
The Face Off Hockey Show. With Scotty Waz. Sean O.
breakaway. Big two-three guard. There we go.
And the P-Boys, Johnny and Mark with the C.
Yeah, baby.
You believe it not? Oh, yes.
Here's your host for the Face Off Hockey Show, Scotty Waz.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Face Off Hockey Show, the show about life with a 30% chance of hockey. I am indeed Scotty Waz, here live on location from Airdrie, Alberta, Canada. Don't need that dramatic pause because I didn't say Calgary, Alberta, Canada. I'm joined, as always, by the two men who are the Singh brothers to my Jinder Mahal. I don't know what that meant. Johnny P. and Mark with the C. Gentlemen, welcome.
Who is Jinder Mahal?
He's a big wrestling dude. Like, he came back, he's all jacked. He's the world champion now.
Jinder Mahal sounds like it's like one of those things we used to say in like middle school that kind of meant like play with my balls, but not really.
Probably. No, he's not wrong there on that one. John, you're definitely not.
Like we just made something up that was like close. We're like, yeah, Jinder Mahal.
Well, it's funny because he is a Calgary-based wrestler. Lance T. Storm was the man who trained him.
Nice. So he studied in the dungeon?
No, he studied at the Lance Storm School of Coolness, I think.
Oh.
I don't think he studied. The dungeon I don't think is there anymore. I think they actually tore it down. The ability to save it as a historical site did not go over well, apparently. But here we are.
They paid Paradise and put up a parking lot.
I think it was condos. More condos. By the way, I come into the city. It's smoky because of all the BC fires, which, by the way, I learned today from Jen. She texted me and said, hey, BC has burned the most they've ever burned before. And I'm like, hey, good job, team. I think they said
they've been burning for quite a while. Before Christ and everything, like before Chelios. My God.
Yeah, it's amazing. 89,000 hectares, I think she said. So there we go.
Is he a wrestler also?
No, he's a Mexican wrestler. They wrestle under mask, and it's the hectares.
I bet you he's on fire.
1 through 89,000.
Like a Sriracha Enema.
Ooh, God, that sounds terrifying.
It's on fire, though.
No, obviously. It's heating up in my stomach. Oh, it's burning my arse. And there's still more to go, by the way, apparently. They're saying the worst forest fire on record and still going to get worse.
Like in human history?
In human for BC. For themselves. Because obviously that whole thing with Nero, sure, that was better.
I mean, were there really a lot of forests out there? I don't think so. I don't think there were many forests.
But that was an entire city, though.
I mean, Baltimore burned down at one point, but that's just a city. It's not like BC's an entire province.
So the information since April 1st, 894,941 hectare of land has been charred, top the record from 1958 when it was 855,000. So congratulations to them.
A hectare is 100 square acres? What is a hectare?
I believe so. Let's look this out on the old Google machine.
Because that's a lot. If that's like 823 hectares and that's 100 by 100. Whew.
Yeah. Jen told me in the acreage and I just forgot. It is, here we go. Are you ready for this? It is 2,211,447 acres. of land.
1 hectare or the total that you
The
just...
total amount of hectare. So over 2 million acres has been burnt in this fire.
Well, that's a lot of hunting land.
Did they figure out who did it? Like, did they at least have the guy in custody?
No, because hectare. No, it's basically essentially just the wildfires that naturally are caused because it's so dry, and then the sun beats down on it, and then someone leaves a fire, like a forest out. No.
Yeah, I mean, if I learned anything from Smokey the Bear, is that only we can prevent forest fires. So clearly, someone wasn't doing their job.
So the question is, who started the fire? Is what you're saying?
Right? Yeah, exactly.
But
It
it's not
wasn't
us.
Billy Joel.
No.
I know that.
None of us
'Cause
three
it-
either. So we didn't start the fire. Either.
No, it was
know-
slowly burning since the world's been turning.
He tried really hard to deflect blame on that one. I'm gonna think that Billy actually did it. There was never any proof, but he tried to distract us with a lot of
Did
current
you think
events.
Billy Joel and Shaggy were like both in on it in some way, shape, or form?
Absolutely. He's like, we didn't start the fire, but look at all these things that happened over here. We didn't start the fire, but what about all this stuff? Yeah, I don't buy it. I think he
They have
started it.
They were banging on the bathroom.
They have a wildfire map now around the province of BC. So I'm letting
Heat
them
map.
load
If
up.
they had a heat map of that, it'd probably be pretty terrible.
It'd be terrifying.
It would just
Show me
be
this-
one red blob. Oh no, I guess it wouldn't anymore. Did it start? I mean, it started in one
they
place
have
and
different
expanded
colors of
outwards,
heat
right?
map, right?
You guys both asked the same questions at the same time. What happened? Johnny first.
No, I was gonna say they have different colors of heat maps. It's not like it's just red.
It's true. Mark, what was your question?
Mine was: did it start in the middle and go out, or did it start like in the south and move north? Which
That's
direction
a real
is
good
it moving?
question. Because I think it also started in different locations too. Because this isn't the entire province. So you got one maybe on the west side of the province, and one could be on the southeast side of the province.
And they're
and then
warring.
they move. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
it's-
west side and the southeast side.
yeah, of course, as it usually is.
Mhm.
If we learn nothing from the South Side video with Moby and Gwen Stefani,
They had a lot of beef.
they did. If they
I
got
thought they
beef,
had
hey,
bananas.
oh, Bananas. Ah. That's been fun, just looking at the landscape and just seeing smoke in the horizon. I'm like, wow, it reminds me of LA. Just so much haze. So much haze.
Interesting. I didn't realize Tony Stewart was in BC this weekend.
Yeah, it's really weird. No, he's got a dirt track thing. It's going to be fantastic. It's a fundraiser, I'm sure. The fund is his pocket. And then it goes from there.
The
All
fun
right,
is
well-
just beer fun.
Exactly. So before we get started on all this fun crap, gentlemen, your weeks, how were they? Before I get to my travel funness.
What did I do? I didn't do much. I was supposed to referee a soccer game on Saturday night, but Mother Nature had other plans and dumped about 2 inches of water on the field and had lightning and thunder all in the area. So the game got canceled after we already got there, though. So yeah, that went well. Some soccer. I got a bunch of new Adidas gear. New old Adidas gear. This is an old
New to you Adidas gear?
This is a new DC United top, but I picked up a new pair of Adidas 3/4 length pants and a new jacket.
I love those Predator pants. They're fantastic.
I got the new Tiro pants that I think have the they're the ones that have the spandex basically from the knee down that keeps everything like tight around your knee, and then it has the regular like piece up. So
Piece up, 8 down. I get it.
So yeah, that's been my weeks. Just adding some money into Adidas pockets so that I can get it back on the stock that I bought.
Right?
Yeah.
All right. Excellent. Mark, your week.
Week was good. We showered Brittany for a second time, which was fun.
Good.
Yes.
Because
Yes,
as
it was
you
a
know,
baby shower.
It's only the second showering in the last 6 months, so
Yes.
I was going to say context.
No, I meant what I said.
I know what I said, sir.
But it was good. We wound up. My basement is now filled with boxes and things, which it's a good thing. It's a good problem to have when you have a lot of friends that care about you and care about your forthcoming child, and give it things before it knows what things really are. But we have all the things. We think we have all the things we need to be parents. Now it's just the actual act of being parents, which
Did the boy get an iPad?
not yet. I mean, clearly that needs to be next on the registry. But
Get that leapfrog going.
yeah, we. I don't know. These days, I feel like it's swinging back the other direction. Like for the last decade or so, parents were like, "Oh my God, I can distract my kid with this piece of technology," and then now all the parents are like, "We're not going to use the technology because we want our baby to not grow up looking at a screen." I think we're going to probably be somewhere in the
Doesn't that
middle.
just come off as being like a hipster type of way
Thank
to parent
you.
children?
Yeah, I mean, it was the equivalent of when we were growing up, and families were like, "We don't like having a TV in the house," for the same reason.
Yeah. Those kids grew up to be sociopaths.
That is
Right.
true. Don't let your kid grow up to be a sociopath.
Yeah, turn on TV.
Turn on
There's
the
going to be
TV.
somebody that listens to us that didn't have a TV growing up.
Those sons of bitches, they're not wrong. But I don't like that they're so truthful. Well, that's good. You guys had a good show. How is this? What is this? Number 2 of what? Or is that the last one?
For what? The showering?
Yeah, the Baby Patanzo Baby Shower Tour
Yeah,
2017.
baby shower 2, the showering. Yeah. No, that's it. This is the last shower.
That
Yeah,
might have
so
been a
we're,
better movie
we're-
than Saw 2.
But did it have
Maybe.
goalie mask?
Nope, no baby goalie mask. Although I wouldn't have been surprised if somebody did. Somebody did, but no. no one
Package
did.
up an old Yofa.
Yeah.
God, if I could get a baby Yofa, you know how quickly I would buy that on eBay.
I do have this one. Hold on.
Uh-oh.
I do have a child's hockey like skater helmet though.
It is a legit Caps helmet, but I'm pretty sure the baby's head. You know what? It might fit in there, but I'm
Yeah,
pretty
lose
sure
it.
that.
But you gotta watch the soft spot.
Yeah, yeah. Well, if they decide that the kid needs a helmet, I'm going to suggest this one and see what they say. Hey, you said he needs a helmet.
First
I
off, don't go
supplied
that.
a helmet.
I'll
yeah,
tell you
I'm-
that they told us for that kid, she's gonna need a helmet, and like why? Oh, so her head shape won't be completely round. So, mine's not.
Yeah.
It's like fucking. Let's not get a kid complex. Then she did. Then we put her in a Yofa helmet. It was really weird. She started saying "bork bork bork," and I'm like,
Oh,
this
Canada.
is our home and native land."
But yeah,
sweet,
so
fun
that
times.
was pretty much my weekend. My week has been a lot of work. That's work's been kind of crazy lately, and I gotta prepare the other people for me not being at work for a while because I'm taking.
How long is
they're-
paternity?
So they're giving us. My company is very forward thinking when it comes to this. They're giving me 3 weeks fully paid for just paternity leave, and then I
That's
have
pretty dope.
180
And then you
hours
can take time
of
off, too.
vacation. Yeah, I have 180 hours of vacation saved up, so approximately 5 weeks, 4.5 weeks. So I'm gonna wind up taking that 4.5 weeks over the last 3 months of the year.
Oh, okay.
Periodically, like two
was gonna say, you're not
to
gonna-
3 days a week.
Yeah, you're not going to do the full 7 weeks or whatever.
Yeah, so that would have been crazy, just completely being out of the office for two straight months. I think that would have been a bad idea, but
That'd have been
it would have been fun though.
Sure, no,
And
absolutely.
if Brittany and I didn't murder each other first,
True, that's also a thing you have to put in there.
yeah.
Are you able to split the paternity time up? I don't know how this works.
So my company's policy is once you start the 3 weeks, you either use it or you lose the rest of it if you decide to go back to the office.
Okay.
Yeah, so you don't have to start it immediately when the kid is born. You can wait a few weeks to start your 3-week clock.
But
if
once
you
it
really wanted
happens,
to. But once you cash in the money in the bank briefcase, you
Sure.
have to stay away for 3 weeks.
and then hopefully not lose it like what happened last night.
Yeah, that's what I heard. See, I've been so out of the loop on this wrestling stuff. Here, I thought
This-
that like Randy Orton was the guy, but no, he's not apparently.
I've been watching a lot of Japanese wrestling because they still think it's real. So that's what I love about it. But all right, so I guess it's to me.
Touche. Let's hear it.
So traveling, it's weird to travel at the beginning of a week, because usually I travel like towards the end of a week. I'll do a Thursday and then do the run that way. To fly out on a Monday, I still was lucky to realize today was Wednesday. So that was a trip. It was all right. The drive up to Winnipeg wasn't bad. The flight from Winnipeg to Calgary wasn't terrible until we ran into thunderstorms. But yeah, seeing the people over at Mr. Mike's, which is right across the street from me back here, that's been fun to deal with. Seeing some old Safeway friends, that's been really cool to deal with. Then today happened. Today was a weird day. Went to a couple shopping malls because I had nothing planned for the day. So I go. There's a store called Pro Hockey Life. It's a big super store of hockey gear. Like they have walls of goalie pads and blockers and helmets and gloves and sticks. They have a shooting range. It's amazing. It's Valhalla for hockey people. What I didn't think I was going to find in there was what's going to happen here with the Scotty screen share. And I walk in and there's just a big thing of Oyo. Just there's one there. I'm like, oh, okay. They got that there. Wait, no, they got look at all that. Look at all these backyard rings from. Oh, this is not good for my bank account right now. That's too much Oyo. Oh, then there's the players and the Zambonis.
Were those all backdoor rinks?
Yeah, they were the backyard rinks.
Backyard rinks, backdoor rinks.
Jesus.
Completely
That's a different story.
Yeah,
I make one joke about an enema, and now everything's ass play.
That was that was one of the books that Scotty used to read.
Exactly. Yeah, these are all backyard rinks. These are all the two players with the little thing, and then down here they have the big game time rinks, like the full size JAMAs.
This is insane. Is this like the Oyo warehouse? This has to be where they ship from.
No, they ship from Massachusetts.
This is where they sent all the extra NHL stuff.
I think they sent all the extra stuff here, because like this is just a shelf. Like it doesn't even have a displayer on it. These are just thrown into these back pockets here.
Like it looks like it looks like a like something from IKEA. They were like,
right?
We need something quickly in order to throw this stuff on here. What do we got?
Yes.
We have an IKEA bench. Let's make it happen.
And this is a Mills Mall, so it's part. It looks like a Arundel Mills, so you know they have all this variety bullshit. But yeah, this is all like backyard rinks, and there's a ton of them. And
nobody wants the Leafs rinks, apparently.
Or the Canadians rinks right here. There's a lot of Canadians rinks in the top shelf here. Now listen. Everyone knows my love of Oyo. Jen has told Oyo themselves that I should be hired on by him. Sean Leahy is stumped for me to be president, and I will be turning in tapes. They literally want me to hear. Who wouldn't? Scotty Waz, 2018. Hey, you can't do any worse. But yeah.
Oyo is for everyone.
Oyo has asked for tapes of my professing my love to them, so we'll see where this turns out. But I will say this, I am glad.
I hope you end up on a commercial.
So I only bought 2 today. So I only bought a Patrick Laine and a Jason Spezza.
So just wait until
As
you
you
get
can
drunk
tell-
and you get an Uber over there.
Did the Jason Spezza come with the Calder Trophy? No?
I should. It should. But here's a dangerous part. So my friend Sammy, who's my favorite bartender, and apparently I'm the most stable man in her life, even though we haven't dated or anything like that.
Interesting.
So, yeah, very weird that she professes that. So we bet on the Orioles Blue Jays series, and thank God the Orioles have been whipping the Blue Jays' ass. You can't say that for most teams. But now I have this fresh, crisp $50 plastic money.
Huh.
Oh. That looks like...
Is there
looks,
a
so where you
nearby?
And
hard to buy another piece of luggage, or how is this working?
And here's the thing, and this is just me. That's a good amount of Oyo. I can buy a couple more Oyo. And they're tiny, and they're small, and my luggage is a hockey bag. So this is dangerous, boys. This
I mean,
is
you can't come back with it.
You have to keep it under $200 American, I believe, because when you come back and you're like, they're like, "What would you like to declare?" And you're like, "Well, I've got about $175 worth of Oyos."
Listen,
They're
They're gonna be
definitely
like-
going to arrest you. They're
First
going
off-
to be like, how much drugs do you have?
first off, it's 60 a day. 60 a day. So I'm staying up here for 6 days, so I'm good. That's $360. I've mapped this out. Don't worry.
Okay.
So I'm saying this is not a good. If I talk to the manager, maybe I can get deals on the Oyos, which would be even worse. But I have that second rink I still got to build up. I'm like Piney Orchard. I'm stalling on building that second rink. Inside Odington joke, kids. Catch the feeling. So yeah,
You could totally get them to mail it to you, right? You could just buy it and then have them mail it to you.
I am to the point where I'm about to ask the manager.
No, I feel like transporting yourself is so much more fun.
Oh, I think it's great, and you just because they're not going to go through the fucking little Lego guys. They were gifts. This can be considered a gift, and they can't go against the gift. That's just personal property. Gifts are fine. You can't tariff gifts. Learn that.
Scotty, I would walk in there and be like, "Can I talk to a manager?" The manager comes over and he's like, "All right, so I got a proposition for you. I got a 50."
I got
the guy's like, "Okay," and you're like, "How many Oyos can I get for a 50?" And you're like, and he's like, "I don't know." I starts doing the math, and you're like, "No.
No.
I think what you heard was I wanted a lot of Oyos. I want all the Oyos."
Listen, help me help you. You see all those backyard rinks. You're not going to sell those at base price. Who are you fucking fooling? You know what you need? You need Scotty Waz, not president of Oyo Sports, to come in here and do a wellness check for these Oyos. Are they being treated right? If I see a box dented, I'm going to take it back with me to the lab. I'm going to fix this, make sure everything's proper. What I'm telling you, sir, is I want to buy these little Oyos. How much for that doggy in the window, sir? How much? I see the retail. I'm Scotty Waz. I'm the interim president of Oyo Sports. I am the mayor of Glen Burnie, Maryland.
Holy
I am the
crap,
mayor
I
of
just
Mr.
had an
Mike's
idea.
Beer Street. Uh-oh.
I sorry. You said one
Go.
thing, it sparked off an idea. I think you have the 50, but you have to have Metzger talk to the guy on the phone.
Oh, Metzger probably knows the guy.
He probably knows it, one, so you'll get a friends and family discount. Two, if there's anybody in this world that could get you a better deal on something, it's Brian Metzger.
Yeah, it's true. Metzger will get me a great deal. No, that's a lie. You know who'll give me a better deal?
Ollie.
No. Close.
Oh my God! If I ever walk into an Ollie's, which "if" is the word
Keyword.
actually, if I ever walk into an Ollie's and they have Oyo, I'm literally buying them all and bringing them with me, and I don't care what they are.
You know who could get me a better deal even than Archbishop Brian Metzer or Ollie? Stan. Stan could get me all those Oyos for $50, and I would get a gift card.
But you'd also be driving some sort of weird Chevy back from Calgary to North Dakota because
Listen.
he's like,
I
hey,
bought that too.
so I know you only had $50 and you wanted just the Oyos, but here's a Dodge Dart.
Hear me out. Listen, I bought you the Dodge Avenger. Don't worry about tax and tags. I got it. I know a guy from Calgary. How do you know a guy? You've been up here twice. Don't worry. I know a guy. So, yeah.
He's like, I did some road work near his house, and he owes me. So you're gonna drive this car from Calgary back to near North Dakota.
Back in '93, I helped him through the traffic at the Capitol Center down in Landover, so he owes me a favor. He now owns a dealership. That man was Jim Plaplinski, former Calgary Flame. Hell,
He was late for the game. He didn't come in on the team bus. I helped him get to the rink. What do you need to know?
got him to the ring. What do you need from me? There's also another guy. He's the head of Oyo. This thing called Oyo. He might help out.
What
my
what Oyos do you think we'd find at Ollie's? John, what Oyos would you find at Ollie's? Would we find like a Yarmer Yager and a Caps jersey? Like what kind of Oyos are we going to talk about here at Ollie's?
I mean, I don't know at this point. Like pretty much, I feel like if Oyo was clearing out all of their hockey merchandise, like if this hockey store that Scotty's at that I forgot the name of already doesn't sell out all of their stuff. Maybe Oyo buys it on the cheap, and then they're just selling the same stuff that the hockey store has. You know, like maybe I walk into an Oyo. Which, that'd be amazing if you put all of the pieces together and just made one 6-foot Oyo. What happens if I like walk into Ollie's one day because I'm trying to like kill some time or something, and I'm in Laurel, and I walk in and I'm like, huh, check that out. Of an entire rack of Oyos. It'll be like the entire 1996 team of the Capitals, I think, or something. I don't know.
It'd be Harold Baines. You know that as well as I do.
Mm-hmm.
Except the problem with the Harold Baines is that it'd be missing a knee.
Yeah, it's true. It wouldn't be able to stand up on its own.
And that's why it's at Ollie's.
You're like, hi. So I bought this, and Harold Baines is missing a part, and they're like, nope. Actually, that's complete.
We manufactured it this way, sir.
And they're like, and how come the Jamie Moyer one I can't put together fully? Nope, that one's also complete.
But that Jamie Moyer one's going to last you a long time, believe you me. He'll outlast all those other Oyos.
Yeah, you don't even have to glue that one together.
Yeah, it's weird. Greg Olson's has all the parts, but the elbow just keeps falling straight down. The elbow won't work anymore. Yeah, no, that's right too.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine too. So yeah, my dilemma is trying to smuggle back these little Oyos and how much I can get for $50. This is my dilemma.
This sounds like the worst dilemma ever.
This is the worst Oceans movie I've ever heard in my life.
Oh shit!
You could pack them all in your carry-on and then take them out of the boxes on the ride home, right? Follow me, and then play with them on the plane. Get the people sitting next to you to join in.
I'll be building a full-size rink in the fucking terminal.
You just reach over and put the other guy's tray table down so you have more room for rinks.
Exactly. Listen, I have 17 Montreal Canadian backyard rinks here. We're all going to put them together as a team, guys.
Yeah, they're not going to build themselves, okay?
Exactly. Listen, you know what? Take that conveyor belt that you're getting the baggage out of, put it at this door. We got to sling these Oyos down.
That's exciting, though. I mean, what is the luck? What is your luck that you walk into a random hockey store and it's just a wall of Oyos?
I had an idea that I'd find. I didn't even see one Calgary Flame one, which I'm just like, why? How the hell did I not see a Calgary Flame fucking Oyo?
Because they sold those.
I guess. But man, I got but I got the cool ones now because I got the Rookie of the Year Jason Spezza, and I got the Patrick Laine. Living the life, kids. Living the life. Oh,
at what point?
I told Jen that.
At what point do you randomly get like a double because you were like, I don't think I have this one, and you end up like getting like another of the same person?
Sidney Crosby. A Sidney Crosby Stanley Cup 2016 one. I got a random, it was part of a deal, and I got a random Penguins one, and I got both of those.
Yeah, but that was a random one.
Yeah, it was a random one.
Like Sidney Crosby on its own. You just happen to randomly get it. Like that's, I feel, is different.
Oh,
I'm waiting for you to walk into a place and be like, oh, the Ovi and the old jersey. And then you get home and you're like, really? I already have this one.
I have two Ovies, one as the third jersey and one as the plain red jersey.
Right.
One plays on the backyard rink next to the goalie battle royal. I also have two Nate McKinnons because one was defective and Oyo did the great thing and sent me a new one. And I had a defective Brian Gianta, so they sent me the life-size version, which is the same thing.
Like, how do you get a defective Brian Gianta? Like, come on.
I love that we went for the same joke there. So, yeah, this is going to be my life.
Hold on. Are you sure that it just wasn't Steven Gianta in a Brian Gianta box?
It did have less talent, and it had the finished jersey accessory to it, so it might have been.
See? Yep. Figured as much. The Los Patanzo, Steven Gianta.
Yeah, exactly. So, so this is my dilemma. I got $50 to burn, and a full thing of Oyos to go with.
Hitting of the Blues Brothers, but just in a completely different capacity.
Guys, I have a Hyundai Accent, which is my rental car. I have a Hyundai Accent. You don't think a big guy driving a small car like that doesn't look silly? It does. It's great.
Fine. They could have given you a Fiat.
They could have. But yeah. So that's been my travels so far.
It sounds
Got some
fantastic.
stuff. Got some stuff on the burner for tomorrow, Friday, and then I leave Saturday afternoon. Come back home just in time to record another Soderstrom bubble, which I'm sure I'll talk about Oyos there too. So, and this show's not
You
done
should
yet.
really just send them the links to the Soderstrom bubble when you talk about Oyos and not this show.
No, I'm going to send it to this show and give them the timestamp so they just listen to that part, and then it'll be fun. We'll be good to go. Start off with it's just a silly little thing. Now I have like this whole triumvirate. No, I have this whole army of Oyo.
Yeah, you're putting together a kingdom.
Essentially, I'm putting together a little city of Oyo. I'm gonna have to buy a new dresser for the other Oyos. So I could be doing crack, Jen. I could be doing crack, Jen. So just don't worry about it.
That's true. That's true.
Could have a crack or car or boat habit.
So here's the problem too, right? Like I feel like Oyos at this point are actually harder to find than crack. So like it's literally taking you longer to find Oyos than if you were just on drugs.
That's not wrong. Oh god, that's hilarious because it's true. Oh, they got rid of the stock, and now the stock's in that Pro Hockey Life store that I have to go to again.
What if you like? So I remember when I was a kid, I went to a flea market,
Sure.
and I saw an awesome set of orange and white like duck pin balls that had a light blue like bowling bag. It was quintessential 80s, like at its best. But they wanted like $50 for these duck pin balls and the case. And I kept walking around and I kept walking around. And I think about the third or fourth time I came back to this one stand, the person was like, "Are you looking at the bowling balls?" I'm like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "But I don't have that much money, so I can't buy them." And they're like, "Well, how much money do you have?" And you're like, and I'm like, "Well, I got like $20." They're like, "I'll take $20 for it." I was like, "Cool." So I bought them for $20. We had those bowling balls forever. And I feel like if you slow play this one,
Here's the thing.
they'll be like, you'll like walk up and the manager will be like, "Well, are you looking to steal some Oyos?" And you're like, no. I'm looking at all of these Oyos right here and I don't have enough money. And he's like, "Well, how much money do you have?" And you're like, "I got $50." And he's like, "Here you go, take them all for $50."
He just gives me the stand. Like, oh. Can I get some
You're
help?
like, "I'm never gonna get the stand through customs."
Well, I'm not going to get that into the accent. Are you kidding me? Even if I drop the seat in the back. Oh, dude.
You like walk on the
thing,
plane with it and you're like, "Do you have a closet or something somewhere you can put this?"
Here's the best part about it is I was doing that. I was circling the Oyos for a good 10 minutes, and no one cared.
Nice work.
So,
Well, I feel like if you go back, then either A, security will be called, or B, somebody will like figure it out and ask you questions.
Well, I also bought a hat there to be not conspicuous and just buy Oyos. So I bought a new Bauer hat. Then I went thrift storing today too, so that was a thing. I got Jen a book called "The Ranked Stories from Hockey Hometowns." So just pretty cool stuff.
That looks massive too.
No, it's a big one. 332, or no, just over 330, almost 3, whatever. And I also got her this shirt for pennies on the dollar. Hockey Canada, like a little warm-up.
Oh, that's cool.
So 100th anniversary. So
yeah, that's nice.
Goodwill came through in the clutch for at least one of the Goodwills. The one here in town in Airdrie had like two racks, and that was it. I'm like, oh, this isn't going to go far. So now I got to find a Value Village, and then we'll go from there. Scotty Waz trying to get deals. 2017. Don't you dare miss it. Although one of the highlights for Friday is of course, with this bet with Sammy, she thought the Blue Jays were going to do better than they did. But now I have
down.
I have an unlimited tab on Friday.
Oh no! Oh no!
No, Oyos, not the. No, they're called Oyos, Mark, not Onos.
Oh no!
Yeah, so unlimited tab Friday, so that's going to be. I hope I make my flight Saturday afternoon.
Unlimited tab Friday is a completely different promotion than I'm used to.
Oh Jesus! So yeah, there we go. My adventures in Oyos, my adventures in Calgary thus far. It's weird when you have actual traffic on the roads. When you go from a place of 53,000 people to over 1 million, it's kind of different. So it's a little
You have like road rage. Like, get out of my way!
exactly. I'm just like, why don't you go on the lights, stupid? It actually felt cathartic to do that, to deal with that.
How many streetlights do you have in the hometown where you are in North Dakota?
In Grand Forks, we got a fair amount. Yeah, no, we have a good amount.
I guess that's better than having an unfair amount.
Yeah, I think there's about probably upwards of 60 throughout the town.
Okay,
It's a small town too.
That's
So
more than I expected. It's a,
oh,
it's a
dude,
good
me
amount.
too. That's a lot. Like it's a decent. I'm gonna do the compare and contrast. Get out of my thing, Oyos. I don't need you to. Like honestly, I could go and say, hey, listen, I'll buy a couple of the figures if you throw in those backyard rings for me. Whatever. No, we'll get to this later. I'll talk this out myself later.
You're like, how much for that section? And they're like,
How much for
what? And I'm like, you're like, the whole section.
How much for this tier? So Grand Forks population 57,339. Airdrie population 61,581.
Okay, all right.
So it's of the same ilk. But then you go to Calgary proper. Let me see. Calgary population. So Calgary, the city limits are not too far from Airdrie. It's about 15-minute drive. 1.26 million for Calgary. So, it's a little bigger. A little bit bigger than... Oh, and they're building a second mall next to the other big mall. They're building 2 big malls right next to each other because that's smart. I thought they were building a new arena. I'm like, wow. And then she finally caved. The Flames are getting their new arena north of town. Nope. It's just a new mall. There we go. And that's the story of Calgary malls, kids.
Nice.
Well, we should get to some reporting. It is the dog days of summer, so we will go ahead and do our best with what we can do. We do have one injury report, however, so Johnny, hit us.
See what condition my condition was in.
Yeah, oh yeah, what condition my condition was in.
There we go, kids. Shane Prince of the New York Islanders had ankle surgery, and he's out 4 to 6 months.
Oh,
That's a hell of a damn surgery.
Yeah.
the ankle is something that you don't want to mess with either.
Oh.
Like when you start having surgery on your ankle is when like things like getting out of bed hurt.
Yeah, so he's only 24 too, so that's not good.
Oh.
That's not good for business.
Daniel Alfredson would have been back in like 4 weeks.
Week and a half. Back in 3 days. He continued to rehab what was called a high ankle sprain, and then they're just like, "Uh-oh, nope, we got to do surgery."
Just kidding, it's broken.
Yeah, it's essentially what happened when if Rick Nash would have actually had his surgery. So, yeah, here we are. So that's the injury of the day. Happy Will Butcher sweepstakes to you and yours, as the highly talented college prospect out of the University of Denver is now a free agent, and he will be taking pitches. He took pitch from the Golden Knights. He's going to be taking pitches from the Penguins. High and tight, I'm sure, for these teams.
You got to test. You got to see what the kid's made of.
Give him a little brushback. So yeah, we got that going for us.
Is this our most touted undrafted player this year?
Well, he was drafted. He's the guy who left the Colorado Avalanche because they're terrible.
So this is the most touted available player?
Yeah, the most touted free agent out of college. I don't know how we... Yeah, he's the dude now. He's defenseman, former captain, coming off a national championship. So
Yeah. So he's
Didn't he win? Did he win the
did he
Hobie
win
Baker?
Hobie Baker? I don't know if he. I
Hobie
think
Baker
he
award also?
I
I know he was one of the 3 finalists. For some reason, all I could think of was the Mac Herman Award, and I'm like, that is definitely soccer's.
Yep. Will Butcher did win the Hobie Baker this past year. So,
Yes.
it's got
Has
that
the
going
Hobie
for
Baker
it.
Award winner signed with an NHL team pretty much every time? Every. Let me rephrase this. Has every Hobie Baker Award winner signed with an NHL team?
Oh,
And when was the last Hobie Baker Award winner that did not?
that's probably a
great
very good
question.
question. Yeah. I know
I
that George McPhee was a Hobie Baker Award winner.
That's true. Found it. Jack Connolly won the Hobie Baker Award in 2012 and then immediately went to Finland. Or I'm sorry, Sweden. So he
What?
went to Sweden. Yep. Never drafted. Went to Sweden. And there we are. Played for University of Minnesota Duluth. Bulldogs. I don't know what that was. I'm sorry. So yeah, he was the last player in 2012 to not sign with an NHL team.
Wow. I feel like that should have been a much longer time ago.
Right? Actually, going to check Drew LeBlanc. I think actually Drew LeBlanc did. Yeah, he went to the NHL. He was drafted. Or no, he was undrafted, but he signed with the Blackhawks after he won. And then we had Butcher this year. Jimmy Vesey was 2016. Jack Eichel 2015. Johnny Gaudreau 2014. Drew LeBlanc 2013. Jack Conley 2012. Andy Mille 2011. Blake Jeffrey-on 2010. Matt Gilroy 2009. Kevin Porter 2008. Ryan Duncan 07. Matt Carl 2006. Marty Serchich 2005. You know Marty Serchich, right?
Yeah.
Me neither.
Who doesn't?
Right? There you go.
Did Gilroy also in this boat where he could like go wherever he wanted to after college?
Yes.
Well, why did that
Gilroy,
happen?
but Gilroy was never drafted. It's
At
a
all?
different set of circumstances. No, I don't think he was drafted at all. He was undrafted.
Wow. To go undrafted
So-
and win the Hobie Baker, it's amazing.
Yeah. It happens more often than you think. Apparently, Marty Serchich was a guy who was undrafted and won the Hobie Baker. So like a lot of these guys do go on. Some go undrafted, and with Butcher's situation, it was just like he lived in Denver. He saw how bad the Avalanche were doing. He's like, I'm not going to sign with this team who drafted me. Go to hell, all of you. It's the same. It's almost the same thing as Jimmy Vesey last year, where he was drafted by the Predators, and then he didn't want to go to the Predators, so he declared himself to be pro after his freshman year. Or no, wait, he was a senior. Never mind. I'm an idiot.
And then
So
they went to the Stanley Cup Finals.
Exactly. So he was drafted. He left them because he wanted to be somewhere else. Signed with the Rangers. Corbin Knight did the same thing, although he didn't want to Calder. But that was a big thing here there in North Dakota. Was he was played all 4 years, didn't want to play with Florida. I think drafted him and then signed in Calgary. He let his time lapse because I think it's August 15th is when the college kids who haven't signed and then turn pro have to decide. So. Yeah. And that's the story of college free agency, kids.
Huh.
Don't you dare miss it.
Good story.
Yeah. But yeah, it's odd that these kids win the Hobie Baker and then are undrafted and then don't want to be signed by or don't want to play for the team they signed for. Oh, we should do a Hobie Baker award-winning list pre-2000. So it's from 81 to 2000. Name that Hobie Baker award winner.
Oh. Not a chance. Like I have a better chance if you're like I pulled up the 1978-79 Joker team. Who did you think was on it? Like I may have a better chance at that
Guys,
than naming any Hobie Baker award before 2000.
Guys, I have downloaded the entire 70-page OYO list.
Oh, jeez.
Oh,
Are there
speaking of
SKUs?
random things you can download, I saw a tweet today that said that the Orioles have put all of their media guides online from like 1954 on.
Yep, from when they started. I retweeted that quickly. I'm just like, I need to hold my
That's where
calls.
it came from. It came from you.
Yeah, of course it did. That's where it came from. You did the thing.
I know. See, I find it funny that I like actually thought about that because I truly follow like 6 people.
I was gonna say.
So, like, it probably came from one of the 3 of us if I saw it on Twitter
It's definitely not Mark.
or
When's the
Rachel
last time you
Benetta.
tweet? When did you last tweet, Mark?
Last time I sent out a tweet. Let's see. Let me see if I can find it. I'm gonna guess like 2 years ago, or it might have been in
Which
in
is
response.
faster, Mark finding the last time he tweeted, or Scotty finding the last Toby Baker Award winner to not go to the NHL? And go. Scotty
And
wins.
get it. Yeah, exactly.
Profile. There we go. Tweets. So technically, the last tweet was March 29th of this year in response to something that Sean Leahy and Scotty Waz and Face Off Hockey Show were discussing with regards to the number of Patanzos there are. Clearly.
With regards, that's the greatest sentence I've ever heard spoken in my life.
I retweeted something about Bruce Boudreau on April 28th, 2016, about the product placement in a Bruce Boudreau picture. It was Deja Blue water after he got eliminated in the playoffs. Deja Blue. Get it? Because he's sad.
No, I got it.
April 27th. I was apparently on a streak in April and March because I actually did tweet more than a few times in April. So I'd say the last time that I legitimately tweeted was April 28th, 2016, because replying to Leahy doesn't count.
No.
Wow, this feud has taken a completely different turn that I did not see coming.
It really
Mark
has.
is angry with Leahy.
The worm has turned for us, everybody. Now, look, I may or may not have just downloaded the 77 pages of Oyos for the checklist.
On October 3rd, by the way, 2015, I sent Scotty Waz a tweet saying, "Shit, did you see that?"
And I don't know what it's in reference to.
I have no idea.
No.
Um,
Yeah,
Oh.
I can't wait until the game later where Scotty's like, okay, so he's 3 inches tall. He looks a little like Alex Ovechkin. He plays for the Washington Capitals. Name that Oyo. And we're like, Alex Ovechkin? Sorry, Nick Backstrom.
yes, sorry, we're looking for Andrei Burakovsky. Andrei Burakovsky. Sorry. I'm looking at the hard to find, like, what was it? They had one was like less than 25 are made. Like, how? What?
Well, weren't the ones that were really hard to find the ones that were giveaways at games?
But those were those were 20, like they had thousands made at least. Like, it's hard to find because if you weren't at the giveaway game, then I'm trying to find like the less than 25, and I'm thinking to myself, why? Like there's less than 250 of one. Like, why? Oh, I guess it's retired is extremely rare because it's an Alex Stalock Oyo.
That would be at Ollie's.
Oh, I'm sure. Well, yeah, the backyard rinks have been retired.
Ollie's would actually have Oyos that were reboxed, and it would just be like Russian player 1.
They do have those. They do have like a generic they give away at conference, and I saw there's on eBay. Don't worry about me. They whatever. I'm not looking for Oyos on eBay or have an alert on that at all. Not Scotty Waz.
I definitely still have the Ovechkin and Backstrom, one of the two that I got us when Oyos first came out, John. They're somewhere.
I still have both of mine. You gave me one of each as well. They're actually on display in my living room library type setup next to the McDonald's hockey sticks that I got from Scotty.
There you go. By the way, less than 50 made David Moss, Generation 1 of the Arizona Coyotes. Also, less than 50 of the Martin Erat Arizona Coyotes. And the problem is you can upgrade. There's a program that Oyo has. You can trade the Martin Erat in for Philip Forsberg.
I saw that one coming. It still hurts.
They also
There you go.
the cup too.
The Ovechkin
Mini
with
stick.
the HNL of Canada. The
You wanna say that
Ovechkin
again?
McDonald's stick. LNH.
LNH.
H. Ligue Nationale du Hockey. Yeah. Well, I was looking at it upside down and on the monitor.
Oh,
So
I have to. I'll bring mine downstairs at some point. I'm pretty certain I have a Ovechkin and a Kiprasov.
Sounds about right.
but still in the packaging.
And I have all of the
kids.
trophies. I have all the trophies as well from McDonald's that are still in the packaging because I sent Scotty money so that he would go to McDonald's and buy them for me.
No, we sent my the other one because that was going on when I wasn't living there yet. So
true.
we sent. Yeah,
that was good for something.
Yeah,
at least.
And I got 2 sets because I bought one off eBay because I had all of them except for the Stanley Cup. So I have like 2 sets of the thing because she found the Stanley Cups at that one point. I'm like, well then, I have things to sell on eBay. I don't know where they were my parents. My parents sent me some stuff too. They're just like, oh, by the way, we found these Sesame Street cars that you had as a child, and they're still in great shape because one of the little ones plays with them. I'm like, that's amazing. She's like, yeah, I think I have your Ghostbusters and your Mask and your He-Man stuff still in the attic. I'm like, okay. Then they showed me a picture of the new pool. She's like, oh, good for you guys. Congratulations. And that's the story of my family. Moving forward.
I started drinking some Neon Gypsy from Duclaw this week because I saw on the rundown that we're going to talk about the odds for the Stanley Cup next.
Yep. And we've got ourselves some odds. According to Vegas, the favorites to win the Stanley Cup are the three-peat guys, the Pittsburgh Penguins, 6-1 odds.
Even after getting their team dismantled in free agency.
Because you still have Matt Murray and Crosby and Malkin. That's why. The second team, the Edmonton Oilers, at 9-1 favorites. Which that astonishes me. That astonishes me.
I don't know. They're pretty good.
That might be a sucker bet.
I think that is a sucker bet. You're going to get Edmonton people drawing that line closer and closer to 3-1 by season start. Then a tie for third. 1, 2, 3, 4 teams tied for third at 12-1. 4 teams. Woo! Care to guess any of those 4 teams, guys, at 12-1 odds to win the Stanley Cup?
12-1. San Jose.
Sorry, they are at 20-1.
Okay.
John,
I was going to go Nashville.
Sorry, they're at 14-1.
Very close. Very close.
Very close.
Yeah.
Mark, another try.
The New York Rangers.
Sorry, they're at 16-1. You're getting closer though. You started at 20, now you're at 16. Johnny, take a hack.
The Capitals.
Washington Capitals
With
at
a
12-1.
question
They are
mark.
one of the. They are one of the.
No.
They are one of the 4 teams.
No.
Tampa, Chicago, and Minnesota are the other 3.
I was going to go Chicago also, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see
That goes-
Minnesota up there, though.
There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams tied for last place at 200-1 odds.
Well, we can throw
Avalanche.
one of them out already.
What's that?
Colorado.
Sorry,
What?
they are 100-1 odds. They are
Oh,
not one
Las
of the
Vegas.
200-1. Vegas is one of them. Yes. Mark, you want to redeem yourself here?
Wow. Holy smokes.
you took a left. You took a left and then a right. You're dazed. Keep moving your feet, son.
Sabres. Sabres.
Yeah, that's probably true. Buffalo Sabres.
Sorry, they are 60-1.
Oh. Wow, they're better off than the... That's amazing. Better off than the Avalanche.
Yeah. So the other teams, Vegas,
The Jets.
Vancouver, Arizona, New Jersey, and the Detroit Red Wings.
What? Jersey.
Oh.
Just by nature of having
That is
mind.
aggressive. The Red Wings missed the playoffs one time in 25 years, and now they're in the last place.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, that's pretty. I saw that. I'm like, wow, that's pretty harsh. It's a little hard. This is performed by Westgate. So there you go. They also put out the odds for the MVP, the most valuable player, courtesy of Bodog. Actually, this one. Give me.
I trust Bodog
Who-
much more than Westgate.
Who do you think? Who do you think's your top three? Your top three MVP, top guys.
Do we have to go trifecta?
You don't have to have an order.
Not box.
You box it. Box it up.
You want me to go first,
Top-
Mark, or you?
You can go first. I'll take the other one.
I am gonna go. All right, name all three because I was.
Yeah, name all three and box it, and
Gotcha. Okay.
then
I
Mark will
am
name
gonna
all three.
go. I'm gonna go. Sidney Crosby. I'm gonna go. Connor McDavid, and I'm gonna go. Patrick Kane.
Mark.
I was gonna go Crosby, McDavid, and who was I gonna go for the last one? Yeah, I don't know. A Draisaitl.
Okay, you both got the same two right. The last one you missed, Austin Matthews
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh.
Should have guessed that one.
at 17-2. McDavid's at 3-2. Crosby's at 5-2. Matthews 17-2. Then Alex Ovechkin at 9-1. Then Pat Kane at 14-1.
Is there a way to short
Wow.
that bet? Can I go the opposite of what that bet is?
Sure.
Whatever that means.
Yes,
What-
Mr.
what are the
You're
odds on
gonna
Ovechkin?
Brian Giunta that bet?
Ovechkin not winning the MVP. I'll take those.
Take those odds, and you take the field. Ovechkin or the field. That's probably a 1-9 bet. Because
Yeah.
come on. Other notables. You got Tarasenko in St. Louis at 15-1, Malkin at 16-1, Carey Price at 20-1, Nick Backstrom at 60-1, Patrick Laine at 50-1, Brad Marchand at 50-1. Same with Jack Eichel. Braden Holtby at 60-1, as well as Kessel, Artemi Panarin, and Joe Pavelski. So there you go. Good times had by everybody.
I'm glad Vegas is putting out their odds on things
Mm-hmm.
so early.
They
So
kind of
that,
have to now.
you know, it's before training camp, so players can't get there and be tempted to make bets. It's good. It's smart.
It's true. Smart business right there. Mm-mm-mm.
They're still gonna be open when they get there for training camp.
It's true. It's very true. Yeah. Once we get Lyle on here, I have to jump out for a second.
What?
Yeah, I know. I have to do something. I forgot completely about it because I forgot what time the show was starting. So,
All right.
come on, Lyle, get on here. You virulent son of a bitch. Any other news that I missed? There wasn't really much this week, guys. We're in the dog days here.
We
Oh.
can save some of it for Lyle then.
We can. Dwight King and Marek Mrazek signing the KHL. Craig Ramsey, 2-year deal to coach Slovakia. There's another thing about KC that we'll talk to Lyle about as well. And we're now joined by Spectres Hockey's Lyle Richardson. Hello, Lyle. Welcome back.
Why, thank you. I wasn't sure that I was going to get a pleasant response there listening into the show, and all of a sudden, because you've got to go pee, I'm assuming because you had a sense of urgency in your voice that sounded like, get on here so I can please go to the bathroom, take a bathroom break.
Definitely not peeing. I'll tell you that much.
And
So you catch up with the boys real quick, and I'll be right back.
Okay. Pinch a low for me.
That's what they called me in college.
If this was the other studio, you'd be able to take the headphones and the mic in.
true.
Then
That
you'd have
is
the
true.
John Lennon sound in over the mic here. But anyway, how you doing, guys?
good.
Excellent.
You
Excellent.
look like
How
you
are
had a good week.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I had a great week. My son Keith, of course, was down last week, which of course explains why I couldn't be on the show. One of the rare times that I cannot be on the show. I mean, you guys are like family, but family has to take priority. So
Is family.
Yeah, family is family. But yeah, I had a great week. My boy's doing well, and we had great weather for the whole time he was down. So
how exactly can you tell that he's your son? I mean, you guys don't look alike at all.
Well,
I saw one picture and I was like, wow, that's just a younger Lyle.
Well, according to his mom, I'm his dad, but I have to take her at her word. Hence the reason why I married her. So, oh, that's a little too much personal info from way back in the day. No. We did it the old-fashioned way, and then we got married. Oh my! So. Yeah, and speaking of kids, hey Mark, baby Patanzo, the big day's getting close, huh?
Yes, it is. Yeah, we got a little under 2 months. So.
Oh yeah, the big day is coming fast. I'm expecting one of your finest Coronas after the big day to be sent my way. Cigar, not beer.
Yes, I don't know how it'll be.
Oh well,
you.
Yeah, those cheap ass smirk ones they used to hand out. Yeah. But I saw the picture there recently. Oh yeah,
it's on its way.
Big days are coming. Yeah, the big days are coming.
Yeah,
that's all good. And Johnny, did you or did you not buy a whole bunch of Adidas gear?
I may be trying to help the stock purchase. That I made it for Adidas as well this past week.
I see.
Spent some good money at Adidas. So yeah, got a new pair of shoes that I'm already wearing.
How much were they? How much they set you back?
These were actually limited edition, so they were kind of expensive. However, I put them in terms of games that I have to referee in order to pay for them. So this is only a one referee game.
There you go. Oh, nice. Nice.
The new, I like, I'm a sucker for shoes now that don't have laces.
Well, that's an older guy thing. As you get older, trust me, it's so much easier to slip on and slip off.
I don't want to have to bend over to do that stuff anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's why on my sneakers I keep them all tied, and I just shove my foot into them and just get in there.
So I got them a new pair of 3/4 length pants and a new jacket from Adidas.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Now I can't get it back on my foot. I'm gonna have to wait until after the show.
But I do appreciate the sacrifice, so you could show it to me. Yeah,
they were wearing one shoe.
They now officially become face-off hockey shoes because you showed them on the show. So
it's true. It's true. Yeah. They have a they have a nice aqua color to them.
Yeah, nice pattern, nice design.
Yeah.
I gotta get.
Yeah, they're soccer inspired running shoes, which gets me soccer inspired and running.
There you go. Because you need to be able to do both. Yeah. So tell me, bring me up to speed here, guys, real quick. What did you talk about early in the show so I don't repeat myself?
Well, so we were talking about Will Butcher and Hobie Baker winners that were either undrafted and doing their rounds and all that such. How do you feel about Will Butcher?
How do I feel about Will Butcher? Well,
do you know much about him?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Fair bit from what like I said, I watching the Frozen Four and all that good stuff. He's definitely not getting as much hype as Jimmy Vesey did last year. I mean, he seemed to be a little more highly touted. Vesey did compared to Butcher, but there's no shortage of interest apparently. He's I'm pretty sure you guys probably touched on. He's talked to 3 teams, or he's going to be talking to 3 teams. Vegas Golden Knights being one, Buffalo Sabres, and the New Jersey Devils. None of that surprises me because all 3 of those teams, if he's looking for immediate NHL minutes, like starting this season, they are, I'd say without question, the 3 teams that can give it to him.
But doesn't Vegas have like 45 defensemen already?
Yes, they do. But some of those guys are going to get demoted, and a couple of those guys I still believe are going to get traded. I think right now there's some teams. I know that George McPhee, GM, the Vegas version. It'll be the next title in his book, GM, the Vegas years. But
yes.
That'll
Which is
be
actually sad. He traded Philip Forsberg before he went to Vegas.
Exactly. That's the reason why he's in Vegas now. That was the trade that put him on the road to Vegas. But I know that his critics have kind of mocked him, or I shouldn't say mocked him, but criticized him for stocking up on as many defensemen as he did. But I think that he was crazy like a fox, because he knows that there's going to be a couple of teams once training camp gets going. There's going to be some teams that are going to be evaluating their D, and they're not quite sure what they got. And if things don't pan out the way they hope, they'll be giving him a call. So I don't think that that's anything he's going to worry about. And he's going to load up on futures, of course. He'll look for a draft pick or a prospect for any one of those guys. But the only guy I would say on that team of defense, I'd say right off the bat, Shea Theodore is safe. He's not going anywhere. If they get Will Butcher, he won't be going anywhere. That's for sure. Colin Miller, he'll be staying put. And I think Jason Garrison will stay put too, to provide that sort of veteran puck moving experience on that blue line. But, guys like Luca Biza, I think that they could get, I think, he's a guy that could be a prime candidate to get moved. So, he'll move out one or two guys before the start of the season and work it to his advantage to stock up on the prospect pipeline.
Yep. That we didn't touch on this yet, and I don't know. I guess we can bring it up without Scotty, but the NHL is still keeping Kansas City around. Kind of like that girl that you can't get rid of from like high school.
Well, or that you don't want to get rid of. Listen, I know that we're married and all, but on the down low, there's a chance. There's still a chance. But I listen. I don't blame them for keeping an option open there. They have an NHL, a perfect NHL venue that's owned by the ownership of the LA Kings. So they know that the arena situation is stable. What they need is they need obviously ownership willing to pay the $500 million expansion fee. That was one of the big things about Lamar Hunt Jr. was the guy. He's the son of Lamar Hunt Sr. of the NFL. And anyway,
and huge in U.S. soccer as well.
Yes, and anyway, now he owns an East Coast Hockey League franchise.
First off, it's not East Coast Hockey League, sir. It's just the initials. It's ECHL.
Go to hell, East Coast Hockey League. Anyway,
because that's my pet peeve of people who don't know the sport is that they just put East Coast Hockey League, and I don't want you to be of that person. I don't want to group you into that, Lyle.
What were they originally called, Scotty? What was it originally called? What was it originally called?
What is it called now? What is it called now?
I don't care.
Lyle?
I am old school, brother. Old school,
right?
Brother.
No.
Anyway, fine.
I thought it was the Every Coast Hockey League.
There you go. The Every Coast Hockey League.
But anyway, I will accept that.
So he's an Every Coast Hockey League franchise owner as well. But he was interested in bringing a team to Kansas City, but he doesn't want to pay the expansion fee. So that's why they didn't bother putting in a bid 2 years ago. I think he's keeping an eye open here for a relocated franchise. And I think the NHL is willing to accept that. Then the only option then is there going to be is that market going to be strong enough to support a team? Because they don't want to move a team and then have to turn around and move them 5 years later if there's just no market. But you don't want to repeat of the 70s where you have teams, bouncing around, to different cities for a couple of years and then moving on somewhere else like gypsies. So, but I'm not surprised that, the league is still willing to at least keep Kansas City sort of on the Rolodex as a potential destination. It'll be interesting to see how things go if you end up with one or two teams that need to. I will say this: I think if the league is going to put a team there and it's going to be a relocated franchise, I think they prefer that it would be a team that's already in the Western Conference, like your Arizona Coyotes, for example. If the league finally washes their hands of them, rather than say an East Coast team such as maybe Carolina or Florida.
What would they do at that point? Like, what other team do they have that they can move to the East?
Quebec City.
Yeah, Quebec City
would be
Quebec City be the but they'd be but again, then you get that imbalance.
But no, I mean, they would still, if they moved another team to the West, like a team would have to come back East still, right? In that scenario?
No, because you got too many teams in the East
30.
now. So if you could move one from the East to the West, I think that might balance it out, But I'm just saying, though, yeah. But I'm just saying,
City is the expansion to rebalance it out, and then you go that way.
If that's the grand scheme of things, but
So I don't know about Seattle anymore.
The NHL wants to put a team there, but they're not going to put a team there until there's an arena built. Until that arena is finally built, they're not interested in going there. So you can refurbish what's already existing there. They're not interested. Build a new venue, and they'd be happy to put a team there.
With the Sprint Center, they would be right at the bottom of attendance for capacity.
And that doesn't
but
help.
the ticket prices are 50%, and you get 1% less action than the Verizon Center.
There you go. That's the best part about it. Wow, we get those commercials about Sprint being better than Verizon all the time. That's a joke.
Speaking of Verizon Center, they changed the name.
Yes, they did. They did.
To the Cap One Arena.
Well, at least that kind of works. A bit of a tie-in there. It kind of works.
They should have called it you called it the Capitol Center, but the one in parentheses. Then we'd all be happy. Nostalgia would run wild, and they did disappoint us from other eras, and we remember the other times where they disappointed us. So,
as long as when you're walking in, people aren't asking what's in your wallet, I think we're fine.
There you go.
So, well, they have to, because they have to make sure that you're
you're not a terrorist.
No, exactly. You're fine. So yeah, it was just KC when I was doing my cooking over there.
Talked about Will Butcher as well.
Oh, good, the Will Butcher sweepstakes.
Yeah, we just briefly talked about that. So
I left you Pasternak.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Did you guys talk about Draisaitl, or are you going to be getting? Are we getting?
We're going to get to that.
Okay.
We also want to get to your thoughts on the passing of Brian Murray, 74.
Yeah,
taken away, and for myself, and I'm sure the Batanza boys too, this was the first head coach we knew of the Capitals, where his brother took over, and then it came down the line where that just kept happening, and then but he was
as long as Terry doesn't go in the next couple of years, I think. I'm fine.
Jesus Christ! Please don't, Terry. Stay around, buddy. But he was a very instrumental part of us getting into hockey, and he was the coach of record that we knew, and he really brought the Caps to their in the '80s to their prominence of going out in the second round. So,
but at least help turn them into a playoff team.
That's true. Yeah, no, they had the right parts there, and then finally got to the playoffs, and he finally made it almost a winning culture. By an overused term, and but he was a guy. He was the dude for us for a while.
Well, he was a dude for a lot of teams when you think about it. Of course, I mean, most fans now, know him from, with his time, his over a decade with the Ottawa Senators, first as a coach and then as a general manager, coaching them to the 2007 Cup final, drafting Erik Karlsson, instrumental in building up the team. Many of the players who are on the Senators now were draft picks or trade acquisitions of Brian Murray as general manager. But his reach goes to so many other different teams. The Washington Capitals, of course, as you noted. He then went on to the Detroit Red Wings, and he played an instrumental role there in helping build up their foundation. That would go on to become, Stanley Cup champions. Then he went on to the Florida Panthers, and just within 3 years, he was their first general manager. Within 3 years, he built a team that reached the Stanley Cup final, an underdog to be sure, but still. And then he goes on to, to the Anaheim Ducks, and built the pieces there, brought in the foundation players, Ryan Getzlaf and Corey Perry in particular, who would go on to become, vital components of their 2007 Stanley Cup run, and are still key players with that club today. So even though Brian Murray never won a Stanley Cup, either as a coach or a general manager, he played a significant role in helping a number of teams either, become Cup finalists or eventually go on to become Stanley Cup champions, and for the two cities where he didn't, Washington being one. I mean, as you said, he played a big role in helping to make that team finally a competitive franchise. He, along with David Poile. So, yeah, his reach was very broad. He was a well-respected hockey man, and he will be greatly missed. I mean, we knew that he had terminal cancer. He was diagnosed with it, I believe, over 2 years ago.
Yep.
So it wasn't surprising that he passed away, but it was still very sad, obviously. And yeah, he will be missed.
And the pieces that he laid together in Anaheim were the pieces that got them the cup against his Ottawa Senators at the time.
Yeah, so. Exactly. How ironic, but right. Still. But it just goes to show the man's success.
I kind of feel like the builder category in the Hockey Hall of Fame was created for somebody like Brian Murray.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely. I'll tell you what. I'm surprised that he is not in there already. Yeah. He should have been before he died. This is a thing that kind of bugs me a bit about the Hockey Hall of Fame. Just to digress very quickly.
Go on, please.
But I mean, Brian Murray should have. I mean, when the guy was diagnosed with terminal cancer, why did they not induct him then? Okay, so that he could enjoy the moment while he was still alive. They did the same, I'm going to say, excuse my language, they did the same shitty trick on Pat Burns. Pat Burns was dying of cancer. Pat Burns, the only to win the Jack Adams Award 3 times, the only coach to do that, okay, who won a Stanley Cup with the New Jersey Devils, coached the Montreal Canadiens to the 1989 Stanley Cup final, compiled a body of work that was deserving of being in the Hockey Hall of Fame, and didn't induct him until a year after he died. I mean, come on. I mean, I could understand if this, if it was something that happened very quickly, or they had died suddenly of a heart attack or in an accident. Yeah, I mean that there's you can't find fault there. They knew Brian Murray had terminal cancer over 2 years ago. Why did you not induct him then? Why? I mean, I'm sorry, but that's pretty shitty.
And by all accounts, he was very good with everyone involved. Like, he was, like, a lot of people spoke very. I mean, wasn't the thing with Pat Burns is that some people didn't like his attitude? Was that one of the things?
Yeah, that was part of it. There were some people in the Hockey Hall of Fame, but you know what? You put your petty grievances aside. When a man is dying, you put your petty grievances aside and you do the right thing while the man is still alive, so that he can, or she, I mean, I'm talking so much about hockey, but I mean, this goes for women hockey players and women who have built up women's hockey. They belong in the builders category as well. If they are dying and they've got a terminal disease, they're dying, and you can induct them in while they're still alive so that they can enjoy the moment, you do that. Okay? You do that. Brian Murray wasn't a marginal hockey man. This was a man who built up the Washington helped to build the Washington Capitals, helped to build up the Detroit Red Wings, helped to build up the Florida Panthers, helped to build up the Anaheim Ducks, and spent the last 11 years building up the Ottawa Senators. 5 teams were competitive because of Brian Murray. He deserves to be in the Hockey Hall of Fame and deserved to be in there before he passed away.
Yep, you're not wrong. There's nothing, like, he should have been in there, and I'm surprised that he hasn't been. Ugh.
Yeah. Ugh. So not really looking very good on the Hockey Hall of Fame that way. Just saying.
But here's the thing. They're used to that by now. So
of course they don't give a damn. They really don't. If they did, they would have done this much sooner. But anyway,
if they did, the whole Hockey Hall of Fame would be a lot better off in general.
Oh sure, but we can't have that, can we? No,
we need Discord.
Yeah.
David Pasternak's name's coming up in trade rumors.
Yes.
Slowly, as we terribly transition off on that.
But.
I don't know about this one. Well, how talk people off the ledge? Like, why David Pastrnak now? Why now?
Well, first of all, because as you said a couple of times here in the show, it is the dog days of summer, so the dog days of the off season. So there's very little to talk about right now. And where this came about was Brian Lawton former Tampa Bay Lightning general manager, now NHL Network analyst. He said from what he was hearing, he wouldn't be surprised. He said this on Twitter. He wouldn't be surprised if David Pastrnak got traded, and he put hashtag contract problems. Now, he wasn't saying, let's be fair here to Brian Lawton, he wasn't saying that the Bruins were shopping David Pastrnak, or that David Pastrnak was on the trade block, or that David Pastrnak wanted to be traded. All he was doing was offering up his opinion that based on what he heard about the contract talks, now he didn't elaborate on that, but just said contract problems. He felt that he said, well, I wouldn't be surprised if he was traded. I didn't have any problem with him saying it like that. I thought it was very clear. I wish that he would have elaborated more on what what these contract problems were. I think we can pretty much guess. I think it's pretty straightforward. The Pastrnak camp wants so much, and the Bruins want somewhere down here. Basically, I think the Pastrnak camp wants $7 million a season, and the Bruins reportedly would like to keep him under Brad Marchand's $6.125 million per season. So I think that's where the quote contract problem comes in. But this was very quickly seized upon, as it would be, and all of a sudden blew up and became this, wait, what? The Bruins are shopping Pastrnak, or they could, or Pastrnak could get traded. And of course, this gets hyped even more because some people brought up the whole point of, well, remember, this was the same Bruins team that traded Phil Kessel over contract problems, and he couldn't play the system. They traded Tyler Seguin because, well, he partied too much and didn't play nice with others. And they traded Dougie Hamilton because he wasn't happy in Boston. So, oh God, they could trade David Pastrnak. And it's like, well, they could, but they won't. And Don Sweeney very quickly, to his credit, turned around the very next day in a very short, very terse email with the Boston Globe, basically said not trading Pastrnak. And I think that's all that needs to be said on that. They're not going to trade him.
Vote of confidence.
There you go. Hashtag vote of confidence.
Hashtag vote of confidence. Yeah, they dreaded vote of confidence. But in this instance, they really can't afford to trade him. This is a guy who got 36 goals and 70 points from them last season, who blossomed into that star that they were hoping he was going to become. They have nobody else in their system who can step in and replace him. If you trade him, you are going to lose on this deal. Yeah, you're going to get back maybe some young talent, maybe some picks and prospects, but yeah. How well did the Tyler Seguin trade work out for the Boston Bruins? How well did the Dougie Hamilton trade work out for the Boston Bruins? So, you look at that and you're not going to get equal value. You're not going to win a trade, but they're simply not going to do that. I think what you've seen is the Pastrnak camp wanted to wait, excuse me, to see what Leon Draisaitl got. They're not going to ask for that much because that would just be crazy. But I can see them definitely using that as leverage to try and see if they can't squeeze for $7 million a season. I can see that.
Yeah, sure. Why not? Mm-hmm. He's got the upside. He's got the numbers to back it up. Why wouldn't you?
Oh yeah, exactly.
And we speaking about Leon Draisaitl, 8 years, 68 or 64 mil?
68 mil, my friend.
68 mil.
Yeah.
So 8 years at 68 mil.
8.5 mil a season is the average.
I don't know how to feel about that. Obviously, the kid he's flourished under this new role in Edmonton. Aside from being like scrap heats that move from up and down for Bakersfield.
Well, he also played very well in 2015-16 as well. 51-point season, sophomore, after he struggled as a rookie the year before.
Yeah. So he is currently this year he will be the highest paid player on the Edmonton Oilers until next year when that's my Connor McDavid time.
Yeah.
Yeah, good on the Edmonton Oilers. Are we going to pat him on the back? I don't know how to feel about this.
I pat him on the back. Yeah. I pat him on the back for this. I mean, I know people are kind of, look, he wound up getting more than I thought he was going to get. I thought that, it'd be between 7, maybe 7.5. He got 8.5 mil over 8 years. But, and I know that, yes, that for 7 years, the Oilers will have $21 million invested in 2 players. You know what? That's the going rate when you got 2 superstars.
I was going to say, when you got 2 good players like that, I think you take that hit.
Exactly. They are doing what the Pittsburgh Penguins did with Crosby and Malkin, and what the Blackhawks did with Kane and Tays. You know, you lock up your 2 franchise players, you pay them, okay, and you try to build around them. Now, Chicago Blackhawks have had some difficulty doing that since then. Pittsburgh Penguins, on the other hand, have not. So, you know, I don't fault them for paying that. I mean, listen, these guys play at the level they are anticipated to play at over the next 8 years. This is going to be money well invested. Okay, this is going to be, as I said, the Oilers haven't seen an offensive punch like McDavid and Draisaitl since Gretzky and Messier in their 1980s heyday. Oilers fans should be thrilled by this. Yes, it's expensive, but your team is willing, after, God, what, 25, 30 years of watching your best players leave Edmonton because they management either couldn't or wouldn't re-sign them. You have just seen your team in the span of 1 month lock up their 2 best players long term. There will not be any contract fights. There's not going to be any squabbles. There's not going to be any questions about, oh, what's going to happen in 2 years when their bridge deal's done. There's no worries about that. Now, yes, is this going to cause some difficulty for the Oilers down the road with their managing their salary cap? Sure it will. But I was more worried about the Milan Lucic deal a year ago than anything to do with McDavid and Draisaitl. McDavid and Draisaitl are 20 and 21 respectively. Okay, their best seasons are ahead of them. So, you know, I fully anticipate they're going to be playing up to the level that's going to justify those salaries. Milan Lucic is 30 years old. Yeah, he's a solid power forward, but you're paying him $6 million for 6 seasons, and that's the contract that's going to bite in there a bit. They got to re-sign guys like Darnell Nurse down the road. They're going to have to re-sign Cam Talbot down the road. If Jesse Puljujarvi and Ryan Strome, if they have very good seasons this year, well, yeah, you're going to end up having to pay them too. But you know, they can also shed some salary. They Peter Chiarelli did it earlier this summer by shipping out Jordan Eberle. And if your name is Ryan Nugent-Hopkins right now, I would not be looking to be in Edmonton much longer beyond this season coming. Because I think he's the next guy to go. Not that they are keen to part with him, because Nugent Hopkins really did settle in well as a second line center. His two-way game's improved, but they can't justify paying him $6 million a season. They just can't. So yeah, I think that there will be a market for him next summer. They will find a team willing to do that. They'll move that contract out. They may have to take some salary back, but you know, they'll move that contract out to free up what they need to re-sign other players as they go. It's going to be a tight dance for Peter Chiarelli. He's going to have to do a better job of it than he did when he was with Boston, but I like to think that he learned from that experience, and he'll be able to make this work.
Vegas, baby. Vegas. There's that. The people apparently are saying the Caps are regressing. Evgeny Kuznetsov says, hey, Kafai, what are you even saying? I don't like what you're telling me. Kuznetsov says that he doesn't believe there's a regression from the Washington Capitals. Is he crazy?
No, I don't think he's crazy. Listen, they're obviously going to miss a couple of the guys that they lost through free agency. They're going to miss Justin Williams, I think.
Yep.
Shattenkirk wasn't really there that long, honestly, I think, to make a real positive impression, so I really don't think they're going to miss him all that much. They will miss Marcus Johansson. Sorry, Mark. But they will.
That's okay. You're right. They will.
They'll miss Marcus Johansson. He really, like I said, in each of the last 3 seasons, he got better and better. And 59 points last season, that's nothing to sneeze at. So they will miss him. But listen, you still have one of the best goaltenders in the world in Braden Holtby. You've got some solid defensemen. Yeah, you lost Karl Alzner, but you still have some solid defensemen there.
Well,
You know,
Schmidt too.
you've got obviously Kuznetsov. Nick Backstrom is, listen, he's still among the best playmakers in the game. Ovechkin, I mean, listen, unless we see any real signs of decline, I know people were saying, oh, his goal total was down last year. Yeah, and we've been through this soap opera before, and he bounces back. So I wouldn't be too quick to write off Ovechkin just yet. And there's some young guys on that club that are going to get they're going to get opportunities to get more playing time. Guys like Burakovsky, for example, they're going to get more playing time. They're going to get more opportunities. So I wouldn't be too quick to write them off. Now, are they going to be challenging for the President's Trophy this season? I think at this point, I really don't think they give a shit. Okay. They've won back-to-back President's Trophies, but that's not the one that matters. That's not the one that counts. They're still going to be a playoff team. They're still going to be among the best teams in the Eastern Conference. It's going to be interesting to see how things play out for them this year. But in terms of regressing, don't be too quick to write them off.
All right, then. We won't.
Yes.
Until...
Yes, we will. We're
I was about to say until December.
Well, I'll tell you this. I'll tell you one thing though. I do think that you had talked about trading Brooks Orpik this summer and it never came to fruition, Scotty. You had made that suggestion. But here's the thing I can see happening, and I can see this happening. Okay, let's say
someone hits him with a car.
No.
Oh, damn it!
But assuming that the Capitals were to regress so badly that, let's say, they're just barely hanging on to a playoff spot, I can see them dumping Brooks Orpik at the trade deadline if they can do it. If failing that, I can see them moving him in June to a team that has cap space and might be willing to pick up that remaining year at $5.5 million. If they
Vegas.
There you go. If the Caps are willing to toss in sweetener, because they're going to because that's how they're going to free up the money for John Carlson. That's I think is the only logical step that's there. They cannot afford to lose John Carlson. They don't want to lose him. If they lose John Carlson next season, then they will regress. They will regress big time. So I see, it was too difficult to try and move Brooks Orpik now. With 2 years left on his contract to try and move, I really don't think there was any interest out there. But I think you can move him when there's just a year left, especially if you're willing to toss in a pick or a prospect in there. I mean, listen, for years, even I bought into the hype of, a guy's, cap hit is almost as good as a no trade clause. But we've seen a lot of contracts that we thought were untradeable get moved. And so I would not rule out, with only 1 year left on his contract after this season, I would not rule out Brooks Orpik getting moved in June.
I hope it's sooner.
Don't you tease us, Lyle.
I know.
No.
I hope it's sooner.
Well, like I said, it could happen maybe during the season, but
It's gotta be a stretch.
Those kind of deals are a bit of a stretch. It could happen.
What about training camp?
Damn it.
Sorry. Scotty, you say it better than I do. Thank you.
Sorry.
Yes.
Oh, all right.
But there you go. I feel your pain. I do. I feel your pain.
Well, we got any bag of fun? Anything? Because I got some breaking news.
Oh, well, break it, my friend.
Great little breaking news. Well, the Avalanche lost out on one college free agent. They got another one. Dominic Toninato has signed with the Colorado Avalanche. The former fifth-round pick of the Toronto Maple Leafs comes out of the University of Minnesota Duluth after the Maple Leafs didn't have room for him on their 50-man roster.
Oh.
So
what's
he
the
is
book
now
on him?
Decent forward.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a good shot. Like, he's got a laser of a shot. Having seen him play at Minnesota Duluth a couple times, very good leader. He's a hard-hitting kid. He's going to be a pretty good grind guy, and I think he's going to fit in well with the Avalanche. I'm trying to think if there's a compare. I think a little bit more skillful Steve Downey with a better temper check. Bigger too, big boy, 6'2", 190. Decent sized guy in comparison to like somebody like Tyson Jost, who's on the thinner side of that, who's playing on that team. So he should fit in well there with this rebuild and maybe be, one of the grizzled young vets as it is on this roster. So they lose out on one kid, they get another one, and there we go. Dominic Toninato to the Colorado Avalanche, 2-year entry-level deal.
Speaking of the Capitals, very quickly, just to
sure.
kind of
we can circle back to it.
Because you did mention one thing, kind of bag of fun thing. Now, this past weekend on my site, I speculated about the possibility of Alex Ovechkin.
I feel like everything on your site should be speculation.
Yes. Well, gee, yeah, exactly.
That's why they call him Spectre, guys.
Exactly.
Come on, speculation.
Speculation, my friends. That's what I deal in. But I
did read this.
Alex Ovechkin maybe retiring from the NHL in order to be able to play for Russia. Your thoughts? You've read mine.
We've kind of hypothesized about that for a bit when it first came up. The big thing that you mentioned there about the owner's not willing, since he doesn't have a 35. What is the deal with the contract where you have to be let back in if he retires at first?
Yeah, it's 35.
Okay, so they have to vote on him coming back.
For him coming back before then, I mean, if he was to come back to the Capitals before his contract before his contract was due to expire, it would either need the unanimous approval of all 31 NHL owners, or you'd have to do it like what the Devils tried to do with Ilya Kovalchuk this summer and pull off a sign and trade. You re-sign them and then immediately ship them out, that sort of nonsense.
Right.
But that
part's going to be the difficult part about this whole thing. And hiring Catanzos.
Well, please.
I think that I wouldn't be surprised if Ovechkin retires to play in the Olympics. He's been saying this for his entire career, that the Olympics are very important to him. And I think the NHL taking the stance, and maybe in this point in Ovechkin's career, he's ready to go back to Russia. He's made his money. He hasn't won his Stanley Cup, but I think he's seriously weighing the whether he is going to be able to win a Stanley Cup and how many more chances he's going to have to win a gold medal. And I think he
Johnny?
Well, so I might take the other side of that coin and kind of be like, Ted Leonsis has been like a father figure to him, kind of, throughout this entire process. I mean, they even had that one commercial where Teddy Ballgame's trying to help him get the chips out of the vending machine.
It's true.
Which was classic.
So, I don't know. Maybe he does stick around with the Caps just because of Ted Leonsis. But then, see, I keep flip-flopping because the other side of that is Ted Leonsis would probably look at Ovechkin and be like, go to Russia and win the gold medal. So, like...
But if the league is saying, as they have already stated, that no player under an NHL contract will be allowed to take part in the 2018 Winter Olympics, then, Leonsis said that he'd be willing to let Ovechkin do that. But that was before that statement came down last week from the NHL Deputy Commissioner Bill Daley. So, I mean, and I find it, kind of interesting because, I mean, back in the spring when Gary Bettman was asked about this, the NHL commissioner, he said, well, that's not a fight I'm willing to pick right now. Well, evidently he's willing to pick it now, And I know Ovechkin said, he also said soon after Daley's comments that he's still hopeful that maybe something can be worked out. I think Ovechkin would prefer it if something could be worked out so that, players who are under contract, maybe you could get special dispensation if your team is willing to let you go, or maybe if the NHL and the NHLPA can get together with the IOC and work something out the last minute. But I really don't think that that's going to happen. And I think if the league sticks with this stance of no players under contract are allowed to go, Ovi's going to have to make a choice. And listen, this is going to be a difficult one. I mean, it's easy for us North Americans to sit here and go, well, no, you signed a contract, you got to honor your contract. But, in Russia, the Olympic gold means a lot to these guys. It means a lot. For a lot of them, it means more than the Stanley Cup. It's true. It's their culture. Don't mock it. Deal with it. Okay? Accept that.
Many European countries are like that.
Yeah, exactly. So don't mock that or anything like that.
Culture of like football where contracts literally mean shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can, I mean, you don't even need a contract. You could just be like, yeah, I feel like playing for you, and this is how much you're going to pay me. And then, 12 years, fine. 2 years later, you pick up and you're like, I want to be transferred.
Yeah,
like
and you transfer. But
that's the cultures.
Yeah, and you know, I mean, I'm not trying to, you know, I just wanted to finish this up, and then I was, you know, because I know Scotty, you wanted to say something on this, but you know, it's going to be a very difficult choice, I think, for him. Because on the one hand, I mean, listen, sure, he's made his money, but let's face it, you're walking away from a league that is far more competitive than the KHL will ever be. Yes, he'll oh yeah, the KHL will pay him big money, but given the volatility of that league right now, there's no certainty that you're going to still have that contract in 2 years' time. And here's the other thing too: if you retire from the NHL, go to Russia, you sign a KHL team, and your team goes to Russia, and your team goes to the Winter Olympics in Pyeongchang, and you play there. This could blow up on them in two ways. First of all, if you win Olympic gold against inferior opposition, that victory will be tainted forever. Okay? Yes, you will feel great that, yes, Russia, we won the Olympic gold. Everybody's going to say, yeah, but the best players in the world weren't there.
But how long will people remember that?
Oh, in the hockey world, a long time. Especially
a long time.
Especially when you're bringing up legacies, getting into comparing legacies. You know, it's bad enough for Ovechkin that he's been compared to Crosby since they both entered the league. And let's face it, right now, Crosby's got a lot more of the important hardware than Ovi does. Ovi winning an Olympic gold against inferior opposition will be nice, but he'll know. And his teammates will know, we didn't do this against the best in the world. And the other thing is,
I remember when people say the Tretiak and Harmelov were fucking dog shit because they beat college kids. Like I buy that. I understand what you're getting at, but sure. I also don't see people saying these Red Army teams. Oh my God, they were the greatest amateurs beating up on 19.
Sure. But it was a different time. This is, that was a different time. Yeah. This is the way it is.
It's a new Red Army era, Lyle.
This is the way it is now. But here's the other thing too. Imagine if you go over there and you go to the Olympics and you lose, and your club gets upset, and it could happen. It could. Hey, remember the Russians were favored to win in Sochi. It was in their backyard. They were motivated to win. Yeah, there was some weakness in defense, and the goaltending was a little questionable. But no, Ovechkin and Malkin and their firepower will see them through. Nuh-uh. They didn't even get a medal. So.
And even if Ovechkin does go, that you're going to have holes in other places too, where guys could have filled in.
Yeah.
So I mean, just because he goes doesn't mean the rest of the team's going to be made that much better on defense and in goaltending.
Exactly. And how many of these guys are going to follow his lead? Everybody's assuming if Ovechkin goes, well, all the other Russian players will go. Evgeny Malkin made a great joke earlier this week. He was asked, has Ovechkin spoken to, do you think Ovechkin will go or anything like that? And he said, I don't know. I don't have a direct line to Putin.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, as far, I mean, we talk about Ovechkin. Well, what about Malkin? Would he go? I mean, he said, yes, he would like to play, but he's not making any noises saying that he's going to go. None of the other Russian players, all the other Russian players have kept quiet. The only guy who said, I am going, is Ovechkin. So it's going to be interesting. What I would love to see, by the way, just as an aside, I would love to see the best players from Russia and Sweden and Finland, all these countries go, you know what? We're out of here. And they all retire. I would love to see some of the best Canadian and American players go, yeah, you know what? Mass retire. That would be so awesome if they all got together and said, you know what? The NHL's been sticking it to us. Let's stick it to them.
And
we've all retired.
Here's what's going to happen.
Retired.
Here's what's going to happen before I jump into my little diatribe.
Go ahead.
That happens, mass retirement, Ovechkin wins with Russia, Caps win the cup, and no one's going to say, like, oh, the Caps won a team. I mean, like...
But
all right, so
yeah,
with Ovechkin, here's my thing.
Mhm.
I had it, and then that was like so long ago.
No,
I
I'm sorry.
can't remember what the hell I was going to say.
I'm sorry.
Really? No, I couldn't tell.
No,
Oh,
not
you're
me.
fine. One of the things I was going to say is what are the repercussions? No one knows what the repercussions are going to be to the team or to the player.
Yeah.
So
I was thinking that too.
The NHL can talk a strong game, but are they going to follow through on it? That's a big thing.
Do you want to risk losing one of your most marketable players? Right. One of certainly the most marketable player of Washington. You know, are you going to risk that? You know, a guy who made your list of 100 greatest players of all time, justifiably, by the way. Because say what you can talk about, well, Ovechkin hasn't won a Stanley Cup, but this guy won a lot of hardware. There's only 2 other players in NHL history who have had more 50-goal seasons than him. He is this generation's most exciting goal scorer and one of the greatest of all time. Of all times. So, yeah, if you're the NHL, do you really want this to happen? Do you want that career to end that way? It was one thing when it was Kovalchuk. Kovalchuk, a very good player, but he is not on the same stature, on the same level as Ovechkin. Not even close. So if Ovi says
the NHL also never tried to sell their game off of Kovalchuk.
Well, because he spent a lot of time playing on lousy teams too. Let's be fair. All those years in Atlanta didn't do any good.
What happens? Just throwing this out there hypothetically, what happens if no NHLers go? Like, what happens if Ovechkin finally decides, you know what, I'm not going to go, and Russia wins the gold medal?
Well, that's just irony.
Yeah, but he can go. But listen, he can. The other thing hanging over for these guys too is they could go. You know what? Yeah, we want to go in 2018, but the NHL wants to go in 2022. Let's face it. Yeah, Ovi will be 4 years older, but does anybody really think that the Russians won't pick him to go?
Oh, absolutely, they will.
He will still go. He'll still be there.
I found out what I was going to say. I think Ovi is loyal enough to the Capitals that he would have retired by now. He wouldn't be waiting until the lead up to do so. I think that's also another thought where it's just like he's not the kind of person, especially with what like Johnny said, being with Leonsis being like a father figure to him. Like,
sure,
he wouldn't screw Ted Leonsis over that way. Yeah. So I think he would have retired by now if he was going to go that route. But I mean, like, again, if the repercussions are you lose a draft pick or a couple draft picks in the next some years. Caps didn't have one till the 3rd round this year. They're fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. I mean, if they turn around and violate this, if they say that, if he says, well, I'm going anyway, and Leonsis says, I want to go, I really think that they would try and work something out. But then again, like I said, this whole thing, when I wrote about this on the weekend, I mean, because it is the dog days of summer, and because that whole statement came out by Bill Daly when it did, this was just speculation, because I do that sort of thing. That was just speculation on my part. At the end of the day, yeah, I mean, Scotty, I think that there's every reason to think that, yeah, if Ovi was dead set on going and the NHL was saying no, he would have retired by now. He would have said, listen, it's been a slice, it's been great, but I've got to go do this. So
because their season starts soon.
Oh yeah, the KHL season begins in a couple of weeks, I think.
I think early September.
A couple weeks. Yeah, early September is when they start.
St. Petersburg takes on SKA versus CSKA Monday, August 21st.
Monday, August 21st. Yes, the SKA bands are rocking the place.
And then it's down the line. August 22nd that's when teams start going. So
if he's going to make that decision, he'll have to make it within the next 7 days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
Good luck to him.
Yeah. I still think the NHL are being dicks about this whole thing, but hey, that's what they do. That's what Bettman does. Bettman said he didn't want to pick a fight, but now he wants to, because and that's what you notice. That's when they slip this in, is during the dog days, right?
Sure.
Yeah. When nobody's paying attention.
And I mean, for me, I've never been one for NHLers, and I've never one for the Olympics. I'm not national.
I'm all for the Olympics if it was, as I said before. I would like to see the world's best junior players there. Yep. That's what I want to see.
Well, that's what Johnny. That's what the soccer does, right? That's like a huge.
They have an under 23 tournament, and then you can have 3 overagers.
Mm-hmm. That's fine.
That'd be
for the men's tournament. The women's tournament's a normal. full squad.
Right.
But just every 4 years, instead of having a World Junior Hockey Championship, you send those kids to the Olympics. Let those kids go.
The
Exactly.
extremely vindictive side of me right now would love to the NHL to be like, you know what, we're not going to go to 2018, but 2022, and the IOC to tell them to pound sand.
Oh, I would love that, Johnny. I would love that. I would like that. Oh no, thanks, but no thanks.
Actually, we don't need you
Actually-
anymore. We did just fine in 2018.
Oh, I know, right? Wouldn't that be something if it actually turned out that, oh no, actually, they did all right with Olympic hockey, and it actually, it was pretty, the ratings were better than they thought they were going to get, and all that. So they decide, you know what? Screw you.
Yeah.
I mean, listen,
I would love that.
yeah. I mean, the IOC's been dickish.
I might turn on
too,
multiple
but-
TVs in my house just to get that extra coverage.
But yeah, I would think that would be great if the IOC actually. I mean, again, the IOC has been dickish about this right from the start. That's why the NHL doesn't want to go to the 2018 games to begin with. It all comes down to them, but to the IOC not willing to share, broadcasting rights and revenue. But yeah, it's their event, but it's the NHL's players. At least give them a little something.
Give them something to be able to
come on.
replay it.
I mean, come on. The NHL can't even, show highlights of like Sidney Crosby scoring the golden goal or whatever because that's property of the IOC.
That's fine.
So,
Exactly. So they have to show still footage.
exactly. So yeah, I know for you guys that's fine. For those of us here in Canada, oh, come on, man. But anyway, come on, yeah. But anyway,
Yeah.
come on, you guys. How's Calgary? How's Calgary, my friend?
Oh, it's been drunkenly great. Man, oh man, it's been okay. Like it's weird coming to a bigger city. I'll tell you that much. So that's been one of the bigger deals. But no, it's been pretty good. And then tomorrow's gonna be good. And then I got there's smoke everywhere from BC. And then I got
wonderful.
Free Tab Friday is happening on this Friday. So I'm living the life. And then hopefully I'll catch my flight Saturday afternoon.
You should pack your bags before you go out on Friday.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
Just
That's a good tip there, John. Yeah.
lay out some clothes for the next day.
And
That's what I do. I'm a very savvy person when it comes to going out the night before I'm supposed to get on a flight.
Yeah.
Like all of my bags are packed up, and I literally just have what I'm gonna wear, like ready to go.
Yeah,
like, laying
hang
on
it
the
in the
chair.
closet. Yeah. Oh, I hang them in the closet, and then just like, yep, okay, good to go. So you're not like, oh, fuck, I gotta pack this stuff.
I have to call down and then get a late checkout. That's for sure. So I'll have to do that. But yeah, no, it's been a peach so far. So
Excellent.
I've been enjoying it.
Good.
But there's too much smoke here.
The big, they start calling Calgary the big smoke instead of Toronto.
Yeah, like all this smoke from BC.
British
keep
Columbia
your forest fires there. Look at all the hectares there that they have burned down. So it's Trump's dream with all the hectares being burned. It's really weird.
Well, of course, all that softwood lumber going up in smoke.
Sure.
There you go. Yeah. It's huge.
Tap Alaska for it.
It's huge.
Tap Alaska for it. It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's been fun. It's been a fun time. I bought the Oyos have been plentiful here. That's even.
Is there anything you miss about Calgary? I mean, other than the obvious.
Other than the drunkenness.
No.
Well, people.
The people that come with the drunkenness, the kiddo. Obviously, I miss that.
Yeah.
But other than that, I've heard where I used to work is now a shit show. So I'm like, oh, good. I'm out of that.
Yay.
Because good job, Sobeys. Way to really run off Safeway. But yeah, I mean, I don't miss.
Well, ever
much.
since they tried that energy drink, it all went downhill.
Yeah, I know, it's pretty terrible. But I mean, yeah, it's I miss the people, and that's about it. And then other than that, because I moved to the same climate, it's not like I miss the weather. It's the same bloody weather.
Same prairie. Yeah, the same prairie. Same prairie chill.
Gas is cheaper. I don't miss the gas prices.
No.
From up here, because we're 97.9, I think, is one of the prices. So
no, poor muffins.
Yeah,
with me paying 106. With me paying 106. Yeah. Yeah. I really feel for you there, Scotty.
In North Dakota, I'm paying like 54. So
shut up.
Like,
yeah.
lovely.
Yeah.
But yeah,
In North Dakota, don't they just pull it right out of the ground and put it in your car?
it kind of. That's what they do up north too. Goodness gracious. Well, it's been fun. It's been a fun time so far. Still a couple days left, and like I said, Johnny's idea is smart.
Yeah.
Lay out clothes.
Yeah.
It's what I'm here for,
Pack
Scotty.
eggs, lay out your travel duds. You'll be all right.
Johnny producing some safeness. It's going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's going to be fantastic. It's going to be fantastic those last few days. I got Oyos. Lyle, did you see the picture of the Oyos?
No, please.
Oh,
please.
Oh, Jesus. Oh,
God.
Lord in heaven. Oh, no.
Have you guys seen
Oh,
these
wow.
already?
This is like basically Field of Dreams, but for Oyos. It's like
Okay.
it's heaven, and they're like, no, it's Calgary.
So, Lyle, I purchased these today. A Patrick Lining and Jason Spezza.
Nice.
So,
Sadly,
I
the
haven't
Jason
got the
Spezza
counter-
did not come with the counter trophy, though.
no, sadly, it did not. You are correct, sir. But there's a store. I don't know if you have any out there, Lyle, called Pro Hockey Life.
No, we don't.
It's just a big sport or hockey store.
Do they
It's got a wall-
do they shorten it to PHL?
Yes.
Nice. They
So
should.
they have a big wall
That's
of goalie
actually
pads.
so the PHL when I was in you can while you're pulling up the pictures.
Sure.
The when I was in 8th grade, I had to do a like engineering diagram for something that we wanted to build. So I built PHH, which was Patanzo hockey helmets.
Nice.
And I started my own company. We sold hockey helmets. So it's very close to the PHL, which would just be, I mean, I'm assuming Mark and I's family playing in the Patanzo Hockey League. We'd probably have about 32 teams, I think.
Yeah.
Full squad, probably 23 roster.
There you go.
I like it.
Good.
So Pro Hockey Life, just a big store. They have a whole thing, like they have a wall of goalie pads, like 2 walls worth. It's amazing.
Oh man,
It's a warehouse. It's a dream. I walk in there today. I met with this. This is their Oyo display.
Oh yeah.
One of them.
Oh
no. Oh
Then-
yeah.
then-
Oh yeah. Lyle.
And then this is another display. And then this is yet another display. And then the final display here.
So Oyos are a thing in Calgary.
Oh, they're a thing. And they're because they got rid of the other because they're doing a new generation for the new jerseys and everything like that. So they just sold it. Because look at all this Montreal Canadiens backyard rinks that you can have, Lyle. Look at all the Maple Leafs one. This is bad for me. And I texted Jen, and then she got on. She's like starting to tweet at Oyo, and just like, yeah, listen, you need to make him president. So I have the funny thing is I have this nice Chris 50 from a bet that I won, and I'm.
Don't tell Lyle about the bet. He'll be angry.
That's the Orioles beating the Blue Jays. So yeah, meh. That's also how you got free Tab Friday. Yeah, this is dangerous, Lyle. This is a dangerous predicament I'm in right now.
So what are you gonna do? What's the game plan here? How are you? I suggest that you choose your plan very carefully, Mike.
We've had a plan where I just hang around there and talk to the manager, see what I can take off his hands for $50.
That's a good plan. Works for me.
Hey,
Shit,
listen, you got an inventory coming up, buddy?
I got a nice Chris $50 bill that's not doing nothing that can suddenly be.
I got a
changing
nice
hands
Chris
here with
50. Get me a goalie bag. I'll fill this some bitch up. And we don't speak of this ever again. How about that?
That's actually your dream right now, is to be in one of those like air compressed chambers where the air's flying and it's just little Oyo packets everywhere. In 30 seconds.
It's the meat counter on Supermarket Sweep.
There you go. I was waiting until somebody was going to make that reference.
It's the meat counter.
That's a good analogy.
That should definitely be a euphemism for something.
Wow, the meat counter on Supermarket Swap.
Like, we should be like having a conversation and somebody's like, oh, that's the meat counter on Supermarket Sweep. And everybody knows what we're talking
Everybody
about.
knows what you're talking about. Yeah.
So, and then Oyo and Oyo, Jen, and I have been tweeting back and forth, so we have to get them tapes so they hear my love for Oyo. And Yeah, because Jen tweeted, "Listen, I think he likes Oyo more than Chick-fil-A and me," and I'm like, "Listen,
Wow.
Jen,
Wow.
there's no question. I do like Oyo more than you."
I knew that was coming, but
So,
still funny.
I hope she did too, because that was the line, and if she didn't, then
If she didn't, you're going to see a whole lot of Oyo out on your front yard when you get home, my
to
friend.
be fair, that's on her for not understanding the last 18 months living with me and knowing that joke was coming. So that's all for me. That's all to her.
I can't wait until I see your Alex Ovechkin with his head popped off on Twitter.
Oh, man.
No! And then just a deadly scream. No!
With little Stans, looking down on him.
Actually, that's probably more plausible. And not Jen
Yeah.
doing it, but it was little Stan.
Not
that
Jen
took
doing
care
little
of it.
Stan. Yeah, little Stan.
Your hobby's bullshit, son.
Yes, Dad.
Dad. You're tagging me in action figure form too? Great. Appreciate it.
Wow, we have somebody that said they'll drive to Hamilton to the Oyo shop just for a shout out by Wilson.
Oh, Jesus, that's a deep cut.
Yeah.
That's a deep cut. And yeah, I'll get on that. Tell him to send his information via Twitter, and we'll get that happen. Give a thumbs up by the Oyo Stan. But Oyo Stan, not Oyo Stan. If we had a big Oyo Stan, I want that now.
Wow. That would
but
be
if
impressive.
we
But
get
it would
this guy
dominate
by
the room.
Yeah, exactly. If we
Big
get this guy
Oyo
by the Oyo setup, given a thumbs up, I will get Radio's Wilson to go ahead and get you a shout out on.
All right, well, you made it. Make it happen, man.
Exactly, and I will tell Wilson tonight because I'm recording that tonight. So yeah, good times had by all. All right, well, it's been real. It's been fun. It's been real fun, Lyle.
Yeah, as
We've got
always,
through
guys.
another August episode.
Well, hey,
Oh.
we're making her, guys. It's almost there. Hang on.
We
Hang
actually
on.
talked
Training
a
camp.
lot of hockey.
Training camps. We have.
Yeah, we did. We did.
Well, we can thank the Edmonton Oilers for signing Leon Draisaitl and Brian Lawton for setting the the NHL world afire for 24
Brian
hours
Lawton.
with his Pasternak speculation. So
yeah. Also shout out Mark Cullen resigning.
Matt Cullen,
Matt Cullen. Damn, I was close. Not at all.
3 times the charm, brother.
Exactly. The last Baltimore Bandit ever to be playing still continues in Minnesota. So
He is still alive.
still going.
There we go.
All right, Lyle, we'll
Right
talk
on.
to you again next week, sir.
Talk to you next week. Enjoy the rest of your time in Calgary and safe trip back. And Johnny and Mark, have a great week. Talk
And you'll
to you
sir.
guys.
see
Thanks.
us in a new
You
see me in
too.
a new studio next week.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
It's pretty great.
All right, I
Bye,
expect
Lyle.
a full tour. Take care.
When is he going to get a tour up? I'm just going to turn my thing around. Here it is. See the Oyos? They're taking over my life. Johnny P, what do you got for shoutouts?
I give a shout out to Adidas. I'll give a diss. I think I've gotten to the point where I'm super saturated with USA soccer jerseys. I
Oh, no.
can't find new ones that I like. I think I have too many.
Oh, no.
I think I've reached the point where I might have too many US soccer jerseys.
Don't say that.
So
Or say that. I don't know. I'm not your boss.
yeah, that's true. Shout out that I didn't bring up actually on my week. I got a raise last week.
Awesome.
So more money coming my way. That's good stuff.
Actually, I think you did say that last week.
Did I?
Yeah, I wanna
might
say you
have.
did.
I don't know anymore. Well, I'm going to say it again then. It was a good raise.
All right.
And I'll give a shout out to Duclaw for sponsoring my house with beer.
Perfect. I like it.
I think I'm good.
Sweet. Mark.
Short and sweet this week. Shout out to Brittany for putting up with Baby Patanzo kicking her in the ribs
Ooh,
like 24/7.
Jesus.
That's about all I got. And
Sounds good.
yeah, shout out to you, Scotty. Have fun in Calgary or outside Calgary. Sorry,
In
outside
the
of Calgary.
southern Alberta region.
Yeah.
The SAR, the SARS. Oh no.
Oh.
Shout out to Oyo. Shout out to Mr. Mice 133 Sierra Springs Drive in beautiful Airdrie, Alberta, as they're putting up.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. It's been a while. I was welcomed back with open arms, being mugged outside my hotel room. Jesus Christ. I turn around, someone's getting out, an old person getting out of a car, like someone's helping him out. I hear a scream, I look it over, I thought they fell down. No, it's dumb Sammy just running and jumping at me. I'm like, thought this woman was dying and it's just you. Happy to see me. So, good times had by all there. Shout out to a Chris50.
There.
What's that?
I need to find a Sandy. That's
Okay.
life right there.
That is life.
Somebody that's actually excited to see me.
Exactly. It's adorable too. And then she every time someone tried to say hi, she's like, "Stay away from my man." She was drunk. Stop trying to talk to my man. I'm like, okay, this is getting weird. So it's been a fun time.
Yeah,
Shout out
sounds
Boston
like it.
Pizza. Shout out Boston Pizza too, because they had live music, and I thought I'm like, we have to get sound check together. We have to make sound check a thing. Just sound check for 30 minutes. Say we've been sound check. You've been great. Good night.
If
And then
there is any place where Soundcheck would play, it would definitely be a Boston Pizza.
of course it was team pictures. Be amazing.
Oh.
All right, guys, we're done. We're out of here. It's my Alberta show. Thank you all for joining us. It's been Face Off Hockey Show on faceoffhockeyshow.com. Also, Blog Talk Radio. Download our show there. Listen to the ads. Help us help you get better content or something. I don't know. For Johnny P. Mark with the C, I'm Scotty Waz. Take care of yourself and someone else. This has been Face Off Hockey Show on faceoffhockeyshow.com. Our Facebook, facebook.com/FOHS Radio, and Twitter, FaceOffHCKY Show. Until we talk to you again next week, I'll be in a new studio. The studio's getting done as we speak. It's amazing. Love it. You love it. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.